I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Please welcome Mr. James Mayer Jr., President, Growth Partnership for Ashtabula County, and Managing Director of Investments and Branch Manager, the Huffman Mayer Wealth Management Group.
Wow. Well, thank you all for coming. We're very excited to have everyone here for the 2018 Best of the County. A couple of special thanks I need to share. Laura Jones and Debbie Waring and Amanda White and Cindy Ray were in charge of our committee, as well as the leadership staff kind of got volunteered into helping out. So if we could get a nice round of applause for them, greatly appreciate it. I'd also like to thank our sponsors for the evening, Key Bank, University Hospitals, Ashta Chemical, ACMC, HAV, Kent State, Crystal, ChromaFlow, JCI, Worthington Industries, the Community Advisor Panel, RH, Energy Trans, that's the fun table over there. The Ashtabula County Port Authority, the Wood, did I say the Wood Group? I'm sorry, that guy distracted me. Ashtabula County Port Authority, Sean Radican. It was Sean Radican year last year. I don't know if it will be this year as well. And Dr. Brockway at ATEC. Thank you very much for being sponsors of the evening.
Mr. Greg Myers, Executive Director, Growth Partnership for Ashtabula County.
Well, good evening, and thanks so much for being here. I'm excited to see so many people in the room, and I actually thrown off a little bit because I thought James was actually going to say something other than the introductions and the thanks. So in preparing my thoughts here, I had to get a little quicker than anticipated. But you know, it was interesting. We had such a fun event last year, and Coach Tressel was here. So I was a little nervous that the crowd might be a little thinner when they told me, Greg, you're going to have to carry the speaking load tonight. So I'm really excited to see that we've got a full house. I don't know what people told you, but I'm glad you ended up coming out. It was interesting because I was trying to figure out what I was going to say tonight, and I thought, well, you know, Coach Tressel, he's a championship-winning coach. He had charisma and charm last year. And he was motivational in talking about his experiences. And I thought, you know what? I'm an award-winning coach, too. I won some championships, a couple Little League championships. I won a couple baseball tournaments, some travel tournaments. So I said, you know, maybe I'll follow that same line. And I'll use some of my experience as a coach to kind of shed some wisdom. And then I thought, well, you know, I'm a little nervous about that because I don't want it to come back and be a comparison from last year to this year. And you know, Coach Tressel may feel bad about some of those comments. So I figure I'll take a different approach. So I think the way I'm going to go is I'm going to dig deep into some economic numbers. I'm going to use a lot of technical jargon, and I'm going to drone on for about 45 minutes of monologue. Does that sound all right? All right. Well, all right. So I won't do that. I'll only do 20 minutes of monologue, but I'll drone on and dig deep into some numbers. But I do want to take an opportunity just to again, thank you, but use this opportunity to talk a little bit about who we are as an organization, why we do what we do, and why we think that's important. So some of it might get a little technical, but bear with me. Feel free, you know, start on your salads. I don't want to keep you sitting there extremely hungry for the next 15 minutes or so as I talk through this, but feel free to dig into that, and we'll get going. So, what's Ashtabula County's economic development strategy? That's a pretty loaded question right out of the gate. I think if we had time to go around the room, it would be enlightening to hear all the points of difference, but all the points of concurrence too. But don't worry, we're not going to go around the room and ask everybody sort of what they're feeling on, you know, what economic development strategy in the county should be. I promise we'll do our best to get you out of here by 9 o'clock. But we've had those community conversations elsewhere. And some prioritize education, others workforce development, and still others infrastructure. While priorities might differ, I think everyone here would agree on one thing. We absolutely need a strategy to be successful. So my remarks tonight will center on what we've been doing lately to build strategy, and equally important, how to create and employ the tactics we need to accomplish an economic development strategy. This event's the perfect opportunity to discuss growth partnership strategy, as I hope to enlist all of you as fellow tacticians by the end of the night. So where do we begin when creating an economic development strategy? Well, a strategy is a type of solution that deals with uncertainty by creating conditions that favor success. But what defines success? Our county's success might be defined somewhat differently by each of us personally, depending on our own experiences and values. But as a general statement, we might begin by saying that economic development success here in Ashtabula County looks like a place where there are enough stable, good-paying jobs for residents. To paraphrase the economist Adam Smith, we can't be a prosperous community if the far greater number of members of our community are poor and miserable. Good jobs are a product of healthy companies making a healthy profit. Workers and companies then pay taxes to keep the quality of life high for everyone in the community, whether in the workforce or not. It sounds pretty straightforward, right? We all have a sense of where we are in the scale as a community and where we'd like to be. And obviously, our community's economic development does not exist in a vacuum. There are many factors, regional, national, global, over which we cannot control that factor heavily into the types of jobs available in a certain area. It's also true that there are many things we can do. As a county, as an organization, as a business, as an individual, to maximize favorable conditions even in the face of larger uncertainty. So let's get down to some basics of our county's economy. So in this slide, the bottom layer, if we could go to this first slide, please. In this bottom layer is our economic base. And these categories are general industry segments where our community produces goods and services for export. Every community's base looks different, but there are no great surprises here. And the one thing I want to point out in the slides is that when we talk about manufacturing, it's a catch-all for all goods-producing industries. So that includes the production of wine, crops, everything. So just for sake of simplicity, we've lumped that all into manufacturing because we're producing a good. So approximately $82 million a quarter in wages is paid to manufacturing employees. That's 38% of total private wages paid in the county. Healthcare is also a rising number and is a commodity that we are exporting in the sense that we are becoming known as a center to which visitors come for healthcare services. The second level represents our indirect industries, which are dependent upon the base industries. These are goods and services that serve our base industries' needs in some way. We are fortunate to be a community who makes real things, because making objects require a host of support services with limited automation. For example, transportation and warehousing, accounting and finance, tool and die making, engineering and design, and construction. So that's all captured in this second band, which comes to a $43 million in wages per quarter. On the top level, which is dependent upon the bottom two levels, is the induced category of our economy. Jobs in this category provide the goods and services for our workers and their families and include things like retail stores, restaurants, automotive repair. It's a robust $56 million per quarter in wages. So this second slide is an illustration that provides a way to get a quick sense of who our workers are and who is paying them at each level of our economy. So what I want to point out here, though, is that the companies listed here are mere examples of the companies. So on the bottom level, you've got manufacturing. On the second level, you've got other services, engineering. You've got companies like Arthur Lewis who are supporting those manufacturing companies. You've got a number of them. On the induced side, those are our retail providers. Those are our restaurants down at Bridge Street. There are wineries. And then they all support that public level on top. The point here is that the interrelationship is extremely important. And the stronger that base, the stronger the rest of our economic house. So the top two bands are very dependent on the base layer, as I'd mentioned beneath it, which is why we've illustrated this as a house. The base level is our foundation and supports all jobs on the floors above. Losing jobs in the second and third levels is not ideal, but it carries fewer impacts than jobs lost on the base level. Conversely, the creation of jobs on the base level will create jobs on the layers above it, magnifying the impact. I'll talk a little bit more about that magnification or multiplier effect in just a little bit, but I want to get back to strategy for just a second. So keeping in center view the nature and numbers behind our local economy, our organization has been strategizing how to support and attract more base industries. We want to keep what we have and attract more of it, and ensure we have a properly prepared workforce to staff it. And we want to use our competitive assets to diversify into new areas. In this third slide, you'll see an illustration of our activity in the area in just the past 12 months. So these conversations have been made possible through different means. They've arisen from business visits we've had that have made conversations possible, and they've been leads provided to us by local and regional partners. The thing I'd like to point out is that the geographic distribution and the size distribution and the industry distribution, I think you'd be amazed at the detail behind that. So we're very proud of that. So combined, these bubbles represent a potential of more than $1 billion, and yes, I used a B, in investment in our county, and an actual investment of hundreds of hours of growth partnership staff time. Not every lead is a sure thing. Some are shots in the dark, but we follow every one. And each requires research by our office, whether about incentives, zoning, site selection, or infrastructure requirements. We prioritize these leads because even a minimal success rate drastically alters our economic house to expand our economic square footage, if you will. For every $1 million increase in wages of the county's base industries, we would expect an increase in the indirect and induced layers by more than 1.5 times that, according to standard economic development models. So this is called the multiplier or ripple effect that I was talking about. It's an effect in economics in which an increase in spending by a business produces an increase in local income and consumption greater than the initial amount spent. After I got off that sentence, I heard a lot of sighs, like, oh, we're into the weeds now on this. So this effect is one of the reasons it can be so satisfying, though, to be an economic developer. The multiplier effect is key to our economic development strategy because focusing on creating growth in the base will give the greatest growth across every category. By focusing on these base industries, we're supporting all businesses, from car dealerships to construction companies. A rising tide lifts all boats, and nowhere is this more true than in the multiplier effect. I hope that I've made my point why Growth Partnership is so focused on manufacturing and other base industries. But our strategy isn't limited to following attraction leads and expansion efforts. It absolutely can't be. Remember, we're creating conditions favorable for success with a strategy, and we have a lot of conditions that need improvement, first and foremost for our existing industries, but certainly also to diversify our base by attracting new clusters. I have extensive experience in site selection as a site selection advisor, and I tend to think of Ashtabula County as one large site. So site selectors like to break their sites down into spreadsheets, and yes and no answers for many questions, and lots of numbers, obviously. Unfortunately, site selectors don't pay much attention to the narrative portions, to the intangible aspects of a community and its potential. And on that site selection spreadsheet, I can tell you that we don't always have as many yes answers as we need, and not all the hard numbers we need either. Not surprisingly, our existing industry's concerns and needs center around those no's and question marks that are on the spreadsheet. And that is of greatest concern because our very top priority has to be keeping our existing base committed to remaining and growing in our county. Much of the past few years for Growth Partnership have been that learning process of where we actually are when it comes to those boxes. Awareness of where utilities are and at what capacity is of great importance, and more difficult than you might think, as no one map exists to articulate it. Awareness of where our industrial sites are as far as environmental issues is also key, and that's another box we need to check. Workforce availability and at what educational attainment level and what skills is another. Understanding of the condition and specs of our existing properties is yet another. Knowing where we are in each of these areas is key to creating that solution that deals with uncertainty by creating the most favorable conditions possible. This is where the tacticians come in. Remember, I had mentioned earlier I'm going to employ you all to be tacticians. So here's where I'm going to make my pitch to you. So strategy is just a wish list without tactics to deal with demands of the moment. So the gains in our county has made so far in creating favorable conditions could never have happened without collaboration to meet those challenges. So how do we as a community devise and employ successful tactics? The first step often happens organically as the result of identifying a specific obstacle to a strategy. It often happens in conversations with partners as we're expressing frustration over obstacles. One of the things I'm most proud of is that over the past few years, Growth Partnership has visited with hundreds of businesses and asked to hear their challenges and opportunities. We've listened with the assumption that it's useful to record individual issues, to categorize them and prioritize them, and very importantly, to approach them with the assumption that something can be done about them. We have the ability to shape our future. We control that within this room and outside it. I want to underscore that point. The partners must have confidence that an obstacle can be overcome. Each partner must be willing to bring to the table that confidence, along with their own unique expertise, tools, and assets. It's that commitment which elevates a complaint session into a tactical powwow. And of course, there are many tactics that have proven successful already that might be adapted to a particular need, although we might not always be aware of them. Part of that commitment must also be to research and leverage a wider network of economic development and community development specialists, such as our regional partners in Team NEO and at the State Jobs Ohio. Many of our community's greatest successes have been as a result of local partners agreeing on tactics that carry out a strategy. A few great examples over the years, and these are long prior to my involvement, but I think they're fantastic examples. The cleanup of the Ashtabula River, right? At one time, that was one of the greatest cleanup efforts in the United States. And the execution of that was done by local people with outside help. That's a great achievement that's put us in a position now to have businesses like Harbor Yak doing kayak rentals, to build Bridge Street and have an environment in which we showcase our natural resources. The other is the acquisition of Plant C by the Port Authority to secure raw water. Is a tremendous infrastructure asset that we use today to attract businesses. And the forethought that people had to recognize that is a tremendous benefit and a great success in collaboration. Establishing the industrial maintenance program at ATEC is another great example of industry coming together with our educational institutions to address a specific workforce development need. And securing the lodge. I wasn't around here at that time, but I remember there were discussions around the lodge being somewhat controversial. I don't know that there's many in this room today that would argue that the lodge isn't a tremendous asset for us in our ability to build our winery industry, to build our tourism industry. And it's a gem that I think continues to create value and leverage value within our community. And there are many more examples. So during my tenure here at the Growth Partnership, I've seen some real progress made as we've partnered to further our strategy. It's no surprise that these tactics have resulted from mutual priorities and incentives that have made partnership attractive. One example is the favorable conditions we need to create is a sufficient supply of cost-efficient energy for our existing manufacturers as well as those companies that are attracted to Ashtabula County's competitive assets. So our county's assets include vast stretches of undeveloped or underdeveloped industrial land and unmatched access to infrastructure such as deep water ports, rail, highway, raw water, and the county's airport. We'll be able to check off the site selection boxes of those, and those are impressive ones. However, the conditions are not yet favorable. No natural gas access prevented many of our existing companies and commercial properties from being competitive. Well, that's not the case now. Working with the Port Authority, the 503, private industry, give a shout out. Let's hear the yoo-hoo back there from RH. There we go. The Happy Table, Jobs Ohio, Dominion Gas, the county commissioners, the city of Conneaut, the Conneaut and Buckeye school districts. Through that collaboration of those groups, we were able to attract the investment into a natural gas pipeline. That pipeline, in turn, will feed our base. It's the food that we need to feed our base industries to allow them to grow and to succeed. It's improving our odds for expansion and for attraction of our newly competitive sites. I feel very fortunate to have worked with many of you to get important work done. The exciting part is that we do still have many tactics and tacticians, hopefully new ones that haven't been engaged, to join us to discover within our community. And again, this is a topic that lends itself to conversation over dinner here tonight and moving forward. I would encourage businesses in all sectors to consider becoming more involved with Growth Partnership's strategy for economic development. The private sector often has the data, the practical insights into the challenges at hand, and knowledge and financial resources to be a powerful partner. Growth Partnership has the economic development expertise, but our members and partners have experience or expertise in a myriad of areas that touch upon economic development. Strong collaborations with other nonprofits, agencies, local governments are absolutely instrumental to any success we see in our county's economic gains. Ashtabula County has incredible assets in location and in infrastructure, but it's particularly constrained by financial resources and human capital. But by working smarter, working harder, and working together, we can get that multiplier effect that gives us an outsized impact that we'd never have within the narrow silos of our own expertise. Together, we can create the conditions that are most favorable for Ashtabula County's success. So, thank you. I mentioned quickly, I want to mention one thing. So we talked about the human capital component of that. And one of the efforts that we're doing from a workforce development perspective is trying to connect with young people who stayed in the county, are working in the county, and are choosing to be engaged in our local economy. We're looking for them, and I'm talking people that are 25 and younger, that we can help connect with high schoolers who are coming out and show them sort of what a path to success in staying in the county looks like. So what we're asking of you is that there's a sheet here, a young leader sheet on every table. If you would help us connect with people that are your employees, are your children, are your nieces and nephews, are your neighbors, are just people that you know that could be that young leader that we could connect with and use in that workforce development effort, we'd be greatly appreciative. Thank you.
Please welcome Reverend Tim Krause of the Conneaut Church of Christ to deliver tonight's invocation.
Let's pray together. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for the beauty of your creation, which is manifest in this county. Lush forests and farms and rivers in our beautiful lake, for the perfume of ripe grapes, for caring neighbors and friends who reflect your love. Thank you for the hardworking people of this county, especially for those who dream big dreams and for those who have overcome life's inertia to fulfill them. Help us to work together to lift the hearts of those whose hope is dimmed. May they find a new hope and a new dream and a second chance. We ask your blessing on those who will be honored tonight. that through their example we might be inspired to raise our sights and renew our dreams. As we work together to make this region even better, help us not to be limited by what was or even what is, but help us to dream of what can be. We are grateful for your love and mercy. We know you love us. You made us in your image. You demonstrated astounding love in your Son and our Savior, Jesus. And it's in his name that we ask your blessing on this gathering. Amen.
If you were relieved to not have to hear the annoying voiceover guy, I'm very, very sorry. George H. Call was the co-founder of Premix Inc., and under his leadership, Premix grew to employ 750 people and had sales of $100 million. Mr. Call passed away in 1995, but left an indelible impression on entrepreneurship and the plastics industry in Ashtabula County. Today, via a series of acquisitions, Premix is a part of one of the largest plastics, chemicals, and refining companies in the world. The George H. Call Award for Entrepreneurship was created in Mr. Call's honor as an entrepreneur who truly made a difference in Ashtabula County. Combining entrepreneurship with community service, Mr. Call was a true leader in Ashtabula. Each year, the award is given by the Growth Partnership to an Ashtabula County entrepreneur who has grown a successful business that fuels economic development in the county. This year's winner exemplifies the entrepreneurial spirit and a commitment to the local economy.
We started with one trolley and one driver back in 2011. We worked from our kitchen. We answered the phone from our kitchen. We sent emails and took payments from our kitchen. We then branched out to additional limousines and party buses. 7 years later, which is 2018, we have a fleet of 30 vehicles and 25 employees. We've been in our current location 2 years, and we are always looking to expand our services. We offer, during the week, many trips to doctor's appointments and work. Our weekend work, as I like to call it, is wine hops and providing fun services for both local and out-of-town clients. When we first started in 2011, I went to my parents. At that time we had 3 children and we bought one trolley. And I said to my parents, we're starting this business, we're investing in a trolley car. We're either gonna make it or we're going to go bankrupt and we're going to move our 3 children and ourselves into your basement. So we knew that it wasn't an option for us, and they were okay with it, but I knew it wasn't an option for them either. So we decided we would make this plan succeed, and we did. We have a trolley, we have a limousine bus, we have a limousine truck, and a limousine car, along with other sedans and shuttle buses. So when we acquired this property here on Main Avenue, we knew that we had room to grow, and we have utilized most of our space with little businesses. We currently have a residential rental division as well as a commercial rental division. So we are too investing in Main Avenue. We've just recently rented 4 storefronts here and would like to continue to see Main Avenue and Ashtabula City grow. So we grew from 1 trolley to 1 van, and within 6 months we added 3 more vans. Some of the clients that we serve go to school, they go to work, they go to after school or before school programs, they go to enrichment classes. They could range from as young as 5 years old to young adults going to class and up to seniors. Once we got a handle on those jobs, we quickly then grew again, providing services to all citizens of Ashtabula County, bringing them to doctor's appointments and to work. We know that there's 4 million visitors and tourists that come to Ashtabula County every year. We also accommodate as many of those people as we can, bringing them to our great wineries and other great landmarks here in Ashtabula County. So because Jeff and I were both born and raised here, and we're raising our 3 sons here, we feel this community is worth the investment to revitalize it and to bring back all the good things that have always been.
The recipients of the 2018 George H. Call Award for Entrepreneurship, please welcome the folks from Richmond Transportation.
Thank you so much for this honor. We definitely are so honored to be receiving this award, the George Call Entrepreneurship Award. We'd like to thank the Growth Partnership and the judges for seeing our vision and awarding this to us. So first I want to thank my husband Jeff for his hard work and support. Jeff is a hard worker who goes above and beyond and does whatever is needed. He's a people person and he wears many hats, from driver to mechanic to smoothing over complicated situations. My sister often says Jeff deserves a medal for putting up with me and my ideas for 30 years. And he truly does. He truly does. I'd also like to thank the greatest accomplishments for me, my sons, Jeffrey, who's 16, Justin, who's 11, and Jason, who's 9. They feel the effects of having parents who are entrepreneurs. They often sacrifice. They get rewards, but they often sacrifice too along with us. Our 11-year-old wants to open an indoor remote control racetrack that we're slating to open sometime this winter. So he wants to take part in what we do. We'd like to thank our parents for instilling a strong work ethic in both of us. Jeff's parents had Almar trailer sales for many years, and Jeff then followed their suit and opened a body shop. He had a body shop for 30 years. I like to call Jeff the Picasso of auto body repairs. If you ever see flames or the color schemes of orange, purple, and green, chances are Jeff's done them. And don't be surprised if someday you see a lifted limousine rolling down Main Avenue. You'll know it's Jeff's work.
That's next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. So my parents, my dad worked from the age of 12, and he retired after 30 years from Elchem Metals. He was a hard worker, always working 2 jobs. A lot of nights he would plow snow and then go and work his 8-hour shift at Elchem Metals. Also, I'd like to thank my mom, who's here in the audience tonight. She helps with our children in our house, and she's always available at the drop of a hat. So thank you, Mom, for taking care of the house and the kids when we need to be at the business and make success of it. I also would like to thank my employees who come to work every day. They make us shine. They're committed, they're dedicated, and they're interested and loyal in making our business succeed. When I was young, I was an entrepreneur. I always sold fundraisers. I went door to door to my neighbors, my family. They probably hated to see me come on their door to sell the cards and the pizzas and the cookies. I started delivering papers at 13. My father quickly helped me because he felt sorry for me that I was working and getting up early. At 14, I started as a Girl Friday for Harbor Realty. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? The lights are going off. Oh, is that the going out music? You want me to wrap it up? I just have a little bit more, I promise.
Where's the hook at?
You're right. At 14, I went to work at Harbor Realty for Ward and Wanda Bennett. I was the Girl Friday. I worked Saturdays and quickly then worked some days during breaks and over the summer. I have to thank them for introducing me to a business mind and giving me love for real estate. I eventually went to college and earned a bachelor's degree from Kent State University, Ashtabula branch, and then graduated from the main campus. So kudos to Ashtabula, Kent. I then earned my master's degree and my principal's license from the University of Youngstown. I taught elementary education for 18 years, retiring, as I like to call it, 2 years ago. Over the 18 years of teaching, I touched about 600 students' lives, providing countless school supplies. I organized coat drives, hat and glove drives, anything that those children needed to succeed in life. I primarily taught 5th grade most of my career. As the video said, we started doing Christmas lights tour with my side of the family is how we got the trolley. I always joked and said I wanted to be like Michael Jackson and have Neverland 2 at my house because I like to entertain. We do give back to the community by supporting as many local fundraisers as we can. I was a RAM volunteer this year, and it really humbled me because every patient I registered was very humble, was very grateful and appreciative for the help that they were receiving from this free clinic. Many said they suffered years with these conditions and couldn't afford the health care. For the last 3 years, Jeff and I have actively fundraised for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Both my parents were affected by, my father had leukemia, my mother is in remission from lymphoma. We had paint and sips, we've had a blood drive, we've had a winter raffle. 3 years in a row, we've organized the annual Peter Romano Classic Car Cruise, educating people about lymphoma and leukemia. We raised almost $20,000 in 3 years for them, and we go every year and organize our team and walk with our children so they know that you can't always get everything handed to you, and you have to work and you have to give back because you are blessed. We are vested in Ashtabula County. We feel Ashtabula County is a hidden gem here in Northeast Ohio and has so many great things to offer. We want to make an impact so we can retain those young people and encourage them to stay or to come back after they graduate from college and reinvest in our community. We currently are actively trying to help revitalize Main Avenue, owning many buildings on South Main and North Main Avenue. We currently have a 90% occupancy rate in the buildings that we own and are starting to renovate the vacant ones to attract new businesses. We live here. We think it's a wonderful place to live. We live here. We work here. We play here. We wouldn't think of any place else to raise our children. Some of the things that we've added this year and want to expand on, for those of you in the corporate world, we've added a Cadillac Escalade for those high-end clients you need to have picked up at the airport or transported around town. We're expanding our wheelchair division. We're offering a mail and courier service to pick up items from your place of business and bring them either to the post office or to wherever they need delivered for. We currently deliver flowers for one of the local florists. We also acquired the old Busy Beaver building. We're offering warehouse storage and vehicle storage as well, and that is at probably about 50% occupied or will be occupied. We have reservations on, and we've been doing that for about 2 weeks. We have a company called VersaPro in our Main Avenue location. It's industrial protective coating, so if you need something coated, come see us. We hope to open the laundromat there on Woodman and Route 20 to give another service to our citizens that are in need. So as you can see, we've been very busy. Again, for us to be recognized in a class with George Call is truly amazing. We never thought we would be here, but truly appreciate it, and it means a lot to us. We are committed to moving Ashtabula forward, and thank you again for the prestigious award.
Presenting the Community Vitality Award is Mr. James Timonier, City Manager, City of Ashtabula.
Good evening. Quality of life is an essential ingredient to successful economic development. Ashtabula is rich in quality of life assets and resources. A community's quality of life is directly tied to both quantity and quality of parks and green spaces in the area. Parks and green spaces play a key role in improving quality of life, spurring local economic growth, improving overall health, and promoting community pride. The Community Vitality Award recognizes significant accomplishments by an organization or community to improve the quality of life in Ashtabula County.
And we are very, very pleased to have the support of members of the community, the business community, local government, state government, as we go through this process. We have a great many community partners that we owe a lot of gratitude and partnership with. And they include the Civic Development Corporation, which has provided significant funding, the Robert S. Morrison Foundation, which has also helped in providing funding for projects such as the North Shore Trail, which this is the North Shore Trail, which would go from the end of the Western Reserve Greenway Trail in Ashtabula all the way down to Ashtabula Harbor, then come up the stairs to Point Park with a bike trough, and then go to Walnut Beach all the way to Lake Erie. And that would be the extension of the Western Reserve Trail, which is part of the Great Lake to River Trail, which would go from Lake Erie to Pittsburgh and to the Ohio River. Hi, I'm Larry Frimmerman, Executive Director of Ashtabula County Metro Parks, and we are very grateful to be the recipient of the Growth Partnership Best of the County Award for Community Vitality. So the Metro Parks has grown over the last 2 years from 3 facilities open to 8, and we're about to open our 9th park, and have gone from just 386 acres open to the public to about 1,100 by next month. So we are very, very pleased to be a part of the economic vitality of this community of Ashtabula County. And our facilities cover all over the county at this point, from the Western Reserve Greenway, which comes all the way from Trumbull County to the city of Ashtabula, to facilities that we have at Harper's Field, in Conneaut, and other places throughout the county. We are looking forward to adding our 9th open park later this year, which would be Red Brook Metro Park in Saybrook Township.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome this year's Community Vitality Award winner, the Ashtabula County Metro Parks.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Paul Carpenter. I'm the board president. It's awesome to be here. You know, 5 years ago, a friend of mine who actually worked for Geauga County Metro Parks, when we decided to run a levy and try to change our Metro Parks, told me, you guys could have the best Metro Parks ever. We have 3 beautiful scenic rivers. We have more land than any county in the state. We have just beautiful places for parks. And I'm proud that we've done this, and we're going to continue to do this. We're going to build great parks, awesome places for people to do whatever they want to do. And hopefully we can find something for everyone to enjoy. And that's our goal, is to make it a better place to live, a better place to live, raise your kids, a better place to be and want to be here. And it's awesome. I'd like to introduce the board. If you guys could just stand up. Our board is awesome. We have Bob Best, Terry Berkey, Charlie. Everybody knows Charlie. Marie Lane is our vice president. And also a great thanks to Judge Camplease, who put the board together. Does a very great job. Brett Bellis is our operations manager. Does an awesome job. And everybody knows Larry. Doing an awesome job for us, and we're going to continue to open up parks and make it a beautiful place for us to enjoy everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the support and the partnership. And would also like to make sure that we thank the voters of Ashtabula County, because what you have done is very significant, and we are very proud to be a part of this community.
Presenting the Workforce Innovation Award is Ms. Laura E. Jones, Executive Director, Leadership, Ashtabula County, and Vice President, Growth Partnership for Ashtabula County.
Workforce development is a top priority for every employer in Ashtabula County. New approaches to workforce development, especially those addressing major workforce and workplace challenges, are needed. There is a renewed focus on starting with education at the forefront of this process. The Workforce Innovation Award recognizes organizations, companies, and communities developing and setting in motion innovative approaches to workforce development. Education's whole child approach engages entire communities to better understand both the in-school factors and out-of-school influences that affect learning. When obstacles are removed, children can flourish and be better prepared for success in school, home, and in the workforce.
We've been concerned about student achievement statewide, and for me personally, I saw that the state was in the process of taking over Youngstown City and Lorraine and others in the list. And my concern was that we wanted local control in Ashtabula for Lakeside. And the only way to do that really was to raise student test scores, have the community more involved, and a model for doing that, to raise hope, raise scores, and to continue in a positive way, was to engage the community through what is known as a community learning center. We traveled as a group to Cincinnati, to one of the stellar institutions in the nation, Euler School, learned as much as we could and brought it back home. And this rock star team took it from there and put this model together.
So community action step forward, because this is part of what our mission is all about. So that was the beginning of it, and then pulling this team together.
For a 4-month period of the summer, basically, of 2017, some of the team and staff were out just about everywhere that we could find individuals to engage, to ask them the questions about if this community learning center were to come about, what does it need to look like? What services do we need to provide that would really be helpful in moving students and families forward? So we were, again, everywhere that we could be where the public might be gathered, so that we could get a very well-rounded amount of input from the community that supports the district.
I think a great thing that the team did was not assume what the community wanted, but started to pull and do a thorough assessment of what parents and students thought were the best services and most appropriate and meaningful services to what would help them in their school environment. And not making assumptions on what people wanted, but finding out the actual details. And the survey that Carmen and April put together for that purpose was successful because of the community engagement involved.
I just see an opportunity for some really great positive impact on our students and really in the whole community. I know a lot of this sort of centers around the schools, but I would hope the schools could really be the hub of a lot of positive change in the community, and I just see this having a great chance to have a big impact.
We have a lot of students who fail vision screenings, who never have follow-up care. So we would like to see them have glasses. And we have lots of students who have dental care issues. We have a mobile dentist over the years who has serviced the students by helping clean their teeth. But for them to have access to more restorative care for their teeth would be really great. And then even beyond medical, I think that the long-term goals is that we would help promote having healthy families, safe families, which would have a trickle-down effect for our students. And we would see positive results from graduation to students having just overall academic success in the schools and life.
As we were working through the process of the community engagement, whenever we would be with groups, there was a tremendous amount of support. People wanted to come together to help move this project forward, to help the families and the students. We realized that it's going to take everyone in the community with all of the strengths to pull together. We know that there are tremendous resources available. Sometimes we don't always know that they're there or how to best utilize them. So by having everyone coming together, we can see what those assets are that we have and how we can better coordinate those to help in this project.
I mean, it's just being consistent with what this group is. When you look at the whole child approach and trying to do what's best, even though, even things like when we changed the start times and the realignment, things like that, it was to remove obstacles from kids being successful. And so I think that's, what I'm doing at school is just being consistent with what we've been doing as a group, that we're all looking out for what's best for kids. Well, one of the things we're working towards, and it's actually starting to come together a bit now, is we wanted to, like April mentioned, we wanted to do eye, dental, and medical here on the campus and be able to serve all of our students. And a lot of our students have never been to the dentist or they haven't gotten eye care, those type of things. So that was part of the thing. We talked about the possibility of having evening hours so that other people in the community would be available, could come and get that help as well. And then there's a whole host of other things that we could do besides the medical, and I think April alluded to that. That would be things that could help people in our community to become more successful, to reach their fullest potential. So that's what's exciting, is that there's not really limits to that. But even just if we could help with eye, dental, and medical type things right off the bat, that's just exciting for the possibilities.
And as a team, we would like to thank Growth Partnership for acknowledging the hard work that we have already begun, the hard work that's ahead, and knowing that we're all in this together as partners.
Please welcome Ashtabula County Community Action and the Strong Foundation's Successful Futures Committee.
The Strong Foundation Successful Futures project has been a culmination of many hours of hard work between several local service agencies and leaders, but especially Community Action, which is an outstanding organization, Representative Patterson, the Community Counseling Center, Leadership Ashtabula, and of course the Ashtabula Area City Schools. We are so greatly honored tonight to receive this recognition by Growth Partnership for Ashtabula County. As I think we've all said, Ashtabula County has so many wonderful resources, and it's our dream to bring many helping hands together in this community for a shared goal to help uplift and support our students, their families, and even community members through a community learning center. And we have, through the last few months, as we've put together our survey, we've been really appreciative of all the words of encouragement, but we've also been very thankful to all the variety of methods of support shared with us. We'd like to give special thanks and acknowledgement also tonight to ACMC and Cleveland Dentistry, who are helping our group move forward with providing medical services through a community learning center. We would also like to thank CareSource and the Ohio CDC for helping us to be able to hire a resource coordinator, and also the Ashtabula Foundation, who was there from the very beginning by providing us with funding to help conduct those surveys and to collect data. So we want to say thank you to all past, present, and maybe future, anyone out there, for helping us remove barriers and work toward ensuring that all children can come to school ready to learn. So thank you very much.
Presenting the award for manufacturing business growth and innovation is Ashtabula County Commissioner, Ms. Catherine Whittington.
Manufacturing has been an economic driver in Ashtabula County for many years. The growth of existing manufacturers is central to the county's continued economic development. The Manufacturing Business Growth and Innovation Award recognizes outstanding contributions by a local manufacturer to economic development in the county. This year, we will be awarding 3 winners in this category, each significant and unique in size, scope, and operations, representing Ashtabula County's diversity in manufacturing. Our first honoree has invested over $2 million to expand capacity in its Ashtabula production facility. Beginning with the upgrade of several key pieces of equipment that had reached the end of their operational life, this upgrade saw a 15% increase in production capability. With the next phase of improvements expected to see another 15 to 20% increase, all to meet the growing demand for their product.
If you've ever used a two-part epoxy, Home Depot type stuff, any kind of glue, and if it sets in less than a couple minutes, it's made here in Ashtabula. We make the world's supply of that. So special about Gabriel is our commitment to safety. So I started my career as a safety professional, and I have never worked in an organization that so values safety. It's the first thing we do, it's the last thing we do, it's the core of who we are. And really, this company, we're so successful because we do things right. That's our. You'll hear it from Seth. You'll hear it from every member of the management. Is we want to do things the right way. You know, yes, profits come from doing things right, and that's why I'm so proud.
So if you look at Gabriel, I mean, the facility dates back to the mid-1950s, and it's been through, I don't know, Tice, half a dozen owners at least. Big chemical companies here and there and everywhere. And under our current ownership, we've really committed to growing the business instead of, I would say, maintaining the business, which I think was the previous 20 or 30 years worth of strategy, was keep the business going, keep it viable. And we now have 3 plants across the United States, 2 sales offices, and we continue to look for acquisitions that complement the technology and the capabilities of really all 3 of our facilities. And Tice and his team are doing a lot of work on expansions here in Ashtabula. We expect to bring a couple of new product lines in here in 2019, and that this facility should be fully utilized and stressed, honestly, to this kind of the point of its current capacity for the assets that are here today. So looking forward, I mean, we've got plans for several significant investments. We're working with the city and the county. Some of those will require some work water and sewer and that kind of stuff. So if we can make it work, this is our preferred place to invest. When we look at the class of assets, the facilities we own in all of Gabriel, this is kind of our flagship facility. I mean, it's the highest caliber of safety, environmental, quality assurance. Our engineering staff and plant management staff are headquartered here, and it's really where we have the best capabilities for what I'll call the most sophisticated growth. We can do simpler chemistries in other facilities, and we can do them at lower cost. But here, when we get into more complex, higher value add chemistries, it's going to end up in Ashtabula.
So I'd like to thank the Growth Partnership for giving us an opportunity really to showcase our team and what this Ashtabula team has done. I'm so proud to be a part of this group. Great working employees, great ownership, great leadership. And we've taken a small Ashtabula company and grown it so much, and I just look forward to the future, look forward to the continued support from our owners and from the community, and look forward to the next great steps in Gabriel's history.
Please welcome Gabriel Performance Products. Congratulations.
So I'll be real brief here. I do want to thank the Growth Partnership. This is a tremendous honor for Gabriel. I'm an Ashtabula County native, and I couldn't be more blessed to work for such a company as Gabriel, a local company, and work with people like Harry and Nicole and Tony, a great team here. As we mentioned in the video, it's been a real ride the last 10 years at Gabriel, grown from a single facility in Ashtabula to a worldwide presence. In a real market position. Soon we'll be growing to be one of the largest epoxy modifier companies in the world, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. So proud of what we've done. So proud of the Ashtabula plant. It remains a flagship. We're working all the time to add new products, new value, hire new people. So it's been a great ride, and I love Ashtabula. I thank everyone here in the community. We work with a lot of the vendors. Work closely with a lot of the chemical companies, and I couldn't think of a better place to work. So thank you very much.
The award for Manufacturing Business Growth and Innovation is Ms. Michelle McClure, Assistant Vice President and Branch Manager, KeyBank.
The ability for existing manufacturers to grow is often tied to a need for public-private cooperation, with public entities assisting in collaborative innovation, supporting business growth as best they can, and recognizing the advantages of property, redevelopment, and economic growth for the area. Our honoree this evening has continually invested in their business here in Ashtabula County, and via their commitment to job creation and business growth, our whole community has benefited as well.
Originally, we were founded in the late 40s, early 50s, and the operation started out in Ashtabula, in downtown Ashtabula. Our father came into the company in the early 70s in the off-season of playing pro football, and it was really a mom and pop operation at that time. And Matt and I we both went to college and got business degrees, and we both came into the company in the early 90s. And we really focused on investments in our company from a computer standpoint, from CNC equipment to facilities, and really trying to get our company from a small fabrication company into a medium-sized, quickly moving, available to adapt at a moment's notice, a company that could supply products all over the country. We've been fortunate because we've been able to do that. We've shipped products to more than 40 different states in the United States, 17 different countries in the world, and it's all been a result of the wonderful people that work for us. We've got an amazing staff, a dedicated staff, people that come to work every day and absolutely 100% give it their all. So we've been able to grow, expand our facilities, move out to Geneva in the late 90s, and actually acquire this building, which was the old Western County Court building at one point, and moved our office staff out here 4 years ago from the city of Ashtabula. So it's all been really wonderful moves, and we're fortunate because we've been able to grow in a slow, controlled manner. We would absolutely like to thank Growth Partnership for this award. It's something that we take fairly seriously, and it's a reflection of our staff and their commitment to what we do and the mission that we have as a company, and also to our business partners, in particular the city of Geneva, that was instrumental in us moving out to the Geneva community and then making substantial investments in the Geneva community. And we've made a commitment to the county, and we've proven it over a number of years, and we're going to continue to make that commitment to this county.
Please welcome Arthur Lewis Steele.
Wow. Good evening, everybody. I will make this short. First, I would like to thank Growth Partnership for this award, and also to congratulate the rest of the evening's winners. You're very deserving. It speaks highly to this county. As I considered the comments that I wanted to make this evening, one common theme arose over and over again, and it's really boiled down to one word: gratitude. My brothers and I are extremely grateful for our talented and dedicated staff, many of whom are here this evening. There are some key members here this evening, and I would like to quickly recognize them. And when I call your name, if you'd please stand up. Jennifer Marison. Tori Kanicki. What a great last name. Patricia Camplice. Jerry Palfy. Marcy Hayduck. Now we're to the Andys. Andy Sears. Andy Housel. Pam Bruce. And last but not least, Marianne Pruger. Marianne, you've been a fixture with our company for almost 40 years and a key part of our growth and success. Marianne's going to retire shortly, and it's going to be a difficult day. I want you to know. I'd also like to thank my family, my wife Shirley, my 3 children, my brothers, my business partners. I love you guys. I can think of nobody I'd rather work with. My mom and dad that taught us the value of hard work, and that when you work hard, you achieve things. So thank you, Mom, I love you. So it is with great pleasure that I humbly accept this award on behalf of the Arthur Lewis Steel Company and the entire Kanicki family. Each one of our team members deserve this recognition, and I'd like to personally thank each one of you. Thank you very much. Hey, come on, everybody.
Manufacturing Business Growth and Innovation is Mr. Michael Habowski, President and CEO, Ashtabula County Medical Center.
Welcome, everybody. For the past several years, a focus on succession planning has been vastly important as small and mid-sized business owners look to transition. Our next honoree has shown commitment and determination in maintaining local ownership and preserving local jobs through the acquisition of a successful company, leveraging resources and dollars to continue to serve customers and grow.
Penco Tool prides itself in delivering compression and injection molds of the highest quality in the industry. Their commitment to providing defect-free molds on time, every time, at competitive prices extends throughout the organization. The company has resided in the city of Ashtabula since 1963. In November of 2017, United States Senator Sherrod Brown announced that the United States Department of Agriculture would be awarding a healthy business loan to the Penco Acquisition Company. The loan of over $1 million was to assist with the acquisition of the Penco tool manufacturing. This resulting acquisition allowed for the retention of over 24 manufacturing jobs in Ashtabula. Located on West Avenue, the machine shop designs and manufactures prototype molds, steel compression molds, and injection molds up to 20 tons in size. The company's molds are used by customers in both thermoset glass reinforced products as well as in thermoset plastic products. Outside of the automotive manufacturing industry, other end uses for the company's molds include molded sinks, shower units, shower bases, and chair shells.
And this is an ideal spot for our business, being that we have all these compression and injection molders in the area. You know, we're surrounded by them, so it's a perfect spot for us. We've got very low turnover of employees. We've got guys, Mark's probably been here, I don't know, maybe 40 years. Right. And Jeff at 34, and it was just a common thing. I worked here myself maybe 17 or 18 years ago. I was here about 10 years and then moved off, did some other things, and came back. So it seems to be a standard that we have in people who stay a long time. We were surprised. It just, so many things have been going on in the past 8 months, and this was a very welcome surprise. We hope to keep growing. This company has grown since 1963 it started, and there's been a couple owners in between, and it's just continuously grown all along, and we find that there's plenty of opportunities right now to continue to grow, so we're hoping to keep doing that.
Please welcome our winner, Penco Tool.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Hello, I'm Steve Pendleton, and these are my partners, Jeff Nemirovsky and Nathan Budd. We wanted to take a moment to thank a couple of our local customers, E.L. Musty & Sons Molded Fiberglass Companies, Zirco Giancola Composites, A. Schulman, and several other customers who have been really good to us and provided us an opportunity to do business in Ashtabula County. We feel it's important to thank Erie Bank and 503 Corp. For tremendous help they were in helping us to finance and get us up and running. Wanted to show our appreciation to local suppliers who've been with us every step of the way. one of which would be a Lewis Steel. We've been very fortunate to have a great group of employees. Some of them have been with us for many, many years. We have others that have only been there a very short time. They deserve a great deal of credit for helping to guide us to our success. Thank you so much for choosing us for this award. We feel truly honored and very excited. And being part of Ashtabula County and this wonderful event has just been terrific. So thank you very much.
Award for Young Economic Development Leader are past recipients, Mr. Charlie Borsikoff and Mr. James Hockaday.
This award recognizes a talented and accomplished young leader in economic development.
The Growth Partnership created this award to encourage greater contributions by local young leaders to the community and countywide economic development. Since its inception, there have been 2 previous winners, both very highly qualified.
Continuing the tradition of the past winners presenting the award, Jim and I are honored to be here. Our honoree this evening is well known not only here in Ashtabula County, but throughout the state in her creativity in marketing and her innovative approach to increasing Ashtabula County's profile as a destination across the region.
Several nominees were put forward this year for this award. We are proud to announce that the winner is a fellow graduate of Charlie and I's leadership class, which is the 2018 class and the best class. I was paid for that remark. So, go ahead and roll the video. In recognition of her leadership in developing award-winning and innovative campaigns and strategies to help boost Ashtabula County's 3rd largest industry, please welcome Stephanie Siegel.
Thank you so much. They're a lot of fun and part of the best class. My husband and I have known each other since we were young children, and he's always said to me, "You act so old." And honey, this is the young. Just want to point that out. When I got the phone call about this award, I was humbled and grateful, and thank you so much to Growth Partnership. But the first thing that occurred to me was how fortunate I am to be held in the same company as Charlie and Jim. And I admire both of them for their bold thinking, their risk-taking, their big ideas, their ability to think forward. And so I will work hard to be held in the same esteem, but I will not grow a beard. This award, though, is about more than just me. It's about my staff over there. They're the best staff around. Thank you guys so much. Wave. I have a board that gives me, I always say they give me enough rope to hang myself if I want to. So they let me take risks, they let me try new things, do that great video. That was a collaboration of a lot of people, so my board members are out there. But my members, because if I didn't have the stories to tell, I really wouldn't have anything to say. And my husband's rolling his eyes because I would have something to say, it would just be a little different. But I appreciate so many people in this room are supportive of travel and tourism. And really, thank you, Lisa, for mentioning it had 4 million visitors last year to Ashtabula County. 1 million of those people spent the night, and we can support that. So I challenge everybody in this room to be part of the reason that those 4 million people return next year and the year after, because travel and tourism is growing, and the best things are yet to come out of the Visitors Bureau, so keep watching us. Thank you.
Presenting the President's Award, please welcome back Mr. James Mayer Jr., President, Growth Partnership for Ashtabula County.
Thank you. Steve Sargent is a mentor. In this county, we start to hear more and more about mentorship. We have Leadership Ashtabula County, Junior Achievement, Community Counseling's Assisted Employment, the YMCA, the NEO Fund helping new entrepreneurs. While you may not have heard of Steve Sargent before tonight, the impact he has made in this community is immeasurable. Steve often finds himself helping people when they are at their personal low points. Your program outlines some of Steve's contributions to our community. He is an ordained minister of the Church of God in Christ, a Harbor High graduate, alumni of Kent State Ashtabula, a board member of the Ashtabula 503 Corp, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mark. Is past president of Ashtabula Kiwanis, vice chairman of the Ashtabula Metropolitan Housing Authority. He's worked as a self-sufficiency specialist for the YMCA and Community Action. He's also worked as an Ashtabula County Juvenile Corrections Officer. Soon you will hear about a new initiative at Steve's alma mater, Kent State, called Rising Scholars. The goal of this program is to have Kent State students mentor local middle school students for 5 years. Once they graduate from high school and hopefully go to Kent State, they too will then start mentoring 7th graders. What a wonderful way to pay it forward. These are great ideas, but they're not new. They've been happening under the radar for years. Since 1990, Steve has served as the executive director of the Samaritan House, the only homeless shelter in Ashtabula County. I can't imagine what it's like to go to work for almost 30 years, greeting new people every day at what could be the most challenging moment in their lives. There's Steve with a hug, a shoulder to cry on, a smile, and a plan on where do we go from here. You know when you meet someone and they kind of look like you, have the same political thoughts, and root for the same football team on Sundays? Well, as you can see, that's not what happened when I met Steve. He is clearly much better looking than I am, but our football teams are both 0-1-1, so we've got that going for us. I remember one of the first times I spent a little bit of time with Steve. I was at the Ashtabula Mall wrapping Christmas presents for Kiwanis as a fundraiser. a bunch of young kids kept coming up to our booth, excited to say hi to Mr. Steve. All day long, all I heard was, "Mr. Steve, Mr. Steve, Mr. Steve," with excitement. I said, "Wow, Stephen, you're a legend here in the mall. These kids, they really, really respect you." So Steve, in a typical Steve fashion, he downplayed it. Discreetly, he said to me, "James, those are YDC kids, and they have to call me Mr. Steve." And that may have been true. But I don't ever remember being excited to see my corrections officer outside of the YDC. These kids got into trouble for something. And instead of being cold, Steve showed them something: empathy, understanding, love, and hope. Why else would they be so excited to see him? We could all use more of the skills and character that Steve shows people in our community. And our community could certainly use a few more Steve Sargents. So please help me congratulate my friend and the 2018 President Award winner, Steve Sargent.
Thank you. Oh. It's bright up here. I want to congratulate everyone, every company, every person that won an award tonight. And I want to thank James and whoever was responsible for me receiving this award. When he called me, I thought he was crazy. Like, you can't believe they would do something like that for me. I'm just an ordinary guy. I still eat cereal. You know? I thought he was saying I had won a Grammy or something. I was preparing a speech to thank RCA Records and all those who, but what a night this has been, you know, for us to come together. And I've been here before, and I would have been here even if I wasn't receiving an award, because I would have been with the 503 at their table. But you all are the reason why we are able to do what we do here in Ashtabula County. My parents moved here in 1953. My mom was 19 years old. She came from Missouri. My dad was from Mississippi. My mom was here less than 2 weeks, and she started working at what is now the Ashtabula County Medical Center, where she worked for 43 years. Lisa Richmond was up here earlier. Her grandparents were my neighbors. I have a story to tell about just about every single group that was up here tonight, because this is my home. This is where my family has been. My parents have, of course, passed on, but there's a legacy left behind. They came here from picking cotton, working like slaves in the fervent heat in places where there were no real wages. You get paid by the pound, not by the hour. And they found a better way of life in Ashtabula County. So much so to where all 6 of us, all of the children born and raised here, and we all graduated from the historic Harbor High School. And we've gone on to greater things in life. But this is where we found hope. This is where my family was able to find dreams that came true. My dad was a World War II veteran. He came home from the war scarred, like many people who come home from battle nowadays. But he worked and lived here until he passed away in 2012. He never even thought twice about moving somewhere else once he discovered Ashtabula. And we still have that hope. We still have that. We represent that, and we get a lot of negative press. We see a lot of negative things, read a lot of negative things that are going on in our county, but hidden underneath all of that negativity are some of the greatest people that ever graced the planet Earth in Ashtabula County. And you owe yourselves a great round of applause for being a part of that group. I have tried all my life to be respectful. I'm the youngest of 6. I had nobody to tell what to do, except for my 2 dogs. I had the power and authority over them. I had to listen to my brothers and sisters, my mom, my dad, my grandmother, everybody, the neighbor, everybody. So I became very good at following instructions. I had no one to turn to. But I learned that when you treat people the way you want to be treated, and you find in people, even the worst of us, those who have fallen short, those who have made mistakes, who may find themselves incarcerated or in trouble, when you look beyond their faults and see the inside of them, you'll find some traits that are like yourself. And you begin to mentor them and work with that person to help bring out the real potential of who they are. I heard a story said once that a young man in desperation robbed a bank, and he stole a gun from his grandfather. His grandfather had a collection of guns. He stole a handgun from him and robbed a bank. And he got about $3,000 in the bank robbery. And he got caught, he got arrested, the gun was confiscated, and they discovered that the gun that he used was worth in excess of $100,000. He got $3,000 in the bank robbery using a gun that was worth over $100,000. All of our kids have hope and potential in their hands. We got to bring it out of them. We got to bring it out of them. And I want to applaud those of you in the room tonight who are educators. I'm happy to have Doctors John and Gloria Furcron, the retired professors from Edinburgh. They taught for years and years in college, and they were not from Ashtabula County. When they retired about 15 years ago, they came to Ashtabula County, built a home, and they live in Ashtabula County. And I'm happy to have Terrell Brenneman here. He's from the Toledo. He also graduated from Harbor. He works in the Toledo school system, teaching children with problems. He's a product of our society, our Ashtabula County. My brother is here from Akron. He retired early from First Energy. He went to VOED, as it was called then. My cousin's not here tonight, but his son is here. And my cousin is a branch manager and one of the vice presidents of First Commonwealth Bank. He graduated from Harbor. He went to VOED. We're Ashtabula County people. We're one of you. We're from you, for you, and we're here, and we have an obligation to tell the world our story. Ashtabula County is the greatest place to live. It's the greatest place to raise kids. It's the greatest place to go to work. It's the greatest place to have a future. And when we believe that, we can perpetuate that in others. And I'm going to close with this, and I want to thank the others that came with me, Anthony and Reese and Mike and everybody that's at my table. I can't see you from here, but I know you're over there somewhere. I know you're over there. Listen, I saw in the paper the other day where the state gave out their report card to all the school systems in the state of Ohio. And some of them in our area got an F. Some got D's, and I think the greatest got C's. But I would like to send the state a report card tonight from Ashtabula County. I'd like to send them a report card and tell them that I don't care how you scored our kids. I've watched teachers like Lisa and others go out of the way to help kids who would not make it otherwise. I've watched teachers give kids food because they had none at home. I've watched teachers stay after school or come early to mentor and help those. I've watched teachers collect clothes and items for kids who didn't have any. You can give us all the F's you want. We're going to give you some F's back because we're coming up. We're Ashtabula County. You can judge us by the standards that you set, and you try to take us and categorize into a box We're not in a box in Ashtabula County. We're unique in what we do. We're unique in what we have to deal with. But I tell you what greatness is calling us, and greatness has always called us. This is the place where if you can dream, if you can dream it, it becomes a reality. Right here in Ashtabula, I'm amazed at the businesses that exist. I'm amazed at the things that people have done and the great people that have come from here and gone on to higher heights and great fame and fortune all over the world from Ashtabula County. My brother was just inducted into the Miami University Athletic Hall of Fame a few weeks ago in the hall with Bo Schembechler, Ben Roethlisberger, that's right, Kevin Grippy, Ben Roethlisberger, Randy Ayers, and so on, and hundreds of other great men and women right here from Ashtabula County. That's what we do. That's who we are. I received this award tonight. I humbly received it, but I know every single one of you in this room are a part of the reason why I'm able to take it. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
Whew. That was a good choice. He killed. I swear, I spent enough time with that guy, I'll be rooting for the Steelers. He's persuasive. He's persuasive. I want to thank you all for coming. I have to apologize. The after dinner cocktail hour, that was my idea. We probably won't do that again this year to speed things up. So I'm just kidding. I want to congratulate all of our award recipients and thank you all for all you do in the community. I want to thank all of you for your support and attendance this evening. Without our sponsors, this evening would be more expensive. I'd like to thank all of our. Oh, that was funny. Come on, it's a long night. I'd like to thank all our trustees. Without your financial support, none of the progress we're making would be possible. Special thanks, Debbie Waring, Laura Jones, Best of the County Committee, staff at leadership, great event. Extremely appreciative of our executive committee. Marty keeps me out of trouble. Craig Parker has been great getting our finances turned around. Scott Pecker always pushes us to do more. Laura Jones does everything and anything you ask her, and even some things you don't ask her to do. We have a committed group working hard for this organization. I appreciate you all so much. We're so lucky to have Cindy Rabe and all of her experience. She is so dedicated to her job. She's not going to let a broken arm or a broken leg get in the way of Best of the County. Cindy, I greatly appreciate all that you do. Amanda, adding her to our team, wonderful resources, grant writing, technical skills. We really appreciate you, Amanda. Lastly, I've made 2 big offers in my life, both of them full of promise for the future. The first one, I purchased the largest diamond I could afford at the time, just in case I needed it to seal the deal. The second one is when we offered Greg Myers the job here at Growth Partnership. At that point in time, we didn't have a great offer for him. I didn't even have a diamond ring to give him. Our balance sheet wasn't pretty. Our partnerships with other economic development agencies were not strong. And we'd been through a few executive directors. Greg has brought everything I could ever ask for into this job. His experience and knowledge have become one of our greatest assets. Our balance sheet today is the strongest I've ever seen it. The relationships we have with the Port Authority, the 503 Corp., Kent State, ATAC, the NOCCOG, and the county feel greatly improved. We have started new programming, business succession plannings. We're continuing to do our financial fitness fair. We're working now with Kent and ATAC on workforce development issues. There's many expansions, business retentions, and new business projects in the work. I am so excited about all the progress that's happening in this county, and I hope that you are as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate your patience all night. We have wonderful award winners. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you for attending the 2018 Best of Ashtabula County and for your continued support of Growth Partnership for Ashtabula County. Please drive home safely and have a good night.